Okay, it should be streaming right now. I do just
Oh,
random.
mailman.
Sorry, that was my phone right on top of me. Uh, I always do stupid sounds in the very opening, just in case. The stream seems to always be a little bit behind. So, okay. Let's see here. I'm just copying my links really quick so that I can post everything and get going here. I will be taking a break. Copy, there we go. In this particular, what's the word for it? What's the word for it? Stream. There it is, a stream. I will be taking a break to feed my dog because she will be eating in about 35 minutes. So I don't want to do a 35-minute stream. It won't be particularly long. It might be an hour, might be a little bit under. But, okay, there we go. Oh, man, I keep forgetting about I always forget there's that title card thing when I post on Blue Sky. Let me do that again. I do like the idea that it's got the card there. That's nice. Okay, there we go. So I've posted there. Now I just have to, this is the nice part, is I preloaded everything in, okay, there we go. Everywhere else I've preloaded all the links, so all I have to do is hit enter. So this will be very quick. There we go. There we go. And that's everywhere. Done. Okay. I don't even bother with Twitter anymore, so that makes it faster. Okay, so what we're going to be doing here, I'm going to go ahead and, well, wait a minute. Oh, you know what I did? I forgot my water. All right, you know what? I wait a minute for people to join anyway, so I'm going to test the range of this wireless mic and walk into this room over here and pick up a glass, stay there, cutie, of water. Just tell my dog not to move, because she'll just have to move back. So I now have my water in hand, and I am moving back. Hi, cutie. Gives anybody a chance to join if they want to. Oh, I have to turn the docks back on. OBS and Reflector both had updates today. So, the Reflector one, which I don't think that's updated in a very long time, but okay, there we go. Chat is up, and is this stats? Is that the other? No, I don't care about stats. I care about, what's the other doc? Stream information, maybe? No, that's the general thing. There's the one that just tells me if anybody's been watching. There it is. Oh, what's activity feed? I haven't even looked at that one. What's Twitch activity feed? Nothing. Okay. All right. So that just tells me if anybody joins. Not that it really matters if somebody joins if they don't say anything. I guess, what's the point of me saying, hello, random viewer, because your name's not there, so I don't know. Okay. Anyway, these both had updates today. I'm going to go ahead and start my little pre-roll thing here. So I'm really hoping that means that Reflector will now be more stable, and so will OBS. OBS never really had a problem. I shouldn't say it like that. OBS has been fine. Reflector, maybe this means it won't lose its connection as much. I really hope that's the case. We'll see. Okay, so we're going to keep working on the AOHell image. It's funny, this was one of the first things I conceived of, this basic approach, the CD being held, when I first had the idea for the dead media images. But I don't think I thought it was, I thought it was going to probably be a weak image. I think that was my reason for taking as long to do it. But I gotta be honest, I really like, this is just my hand holding a CD, so it's just based on a reference of my hand. But I really like all the kind of little lines and everything. The blood is not necessarily, in fact, you know what I'm gonna do? The blood is not necessarily final. The blood lines are, I don't know, that they look too trickly. But right now I'm just gonna color the hand. I'm not gonna worry about that. So we're gonna do a first pass at the hand for color, because this is going to be a very garishly colored hand. I'm not trying to make this look realistic at all. This is supposed to be very, very, I don't want to say unrealistic, but it's going to be very, very hyper. It's going to be very surreal, I guess. I think I'm going to make the fingernails be purple. Like, I'm really going early Romero kind of special effecty on this one. Whoa. What is that white stuff? What is that? What is that? A mask? That might be a mask. Let's see, because I still have to have the hand color through there. But what is that? That's interesting. What is that? No, it's not that. I'm assuming it's a mask of some kind. No. Oh, it's this. Why is that there? Oh, that's okay. I'm a moron. That's how I achieved that effect. I didn't do it uniformly because I didn't have the color there to see what else I had to do. I was just concentrating on the, yeah, so I'm going to have to do all this. Okay, that's fine. Now, as long as I know what it is, we're fine. Now I know what it is, so we're fine. So I'm going to color the hand, and then I'll go in and do that. So I see what I had done. I had only applied the white kind of frosting layer, which is because, you know, CDs have this, not all CDs, but a lot of CDs have an outer layer that is transparent that you can see through. So I have a little bit of the hand going, but it's on a lighter color because it's not completely translucent. It's usually partially see-through. So semi-opaque, I guess, is the proper term, or semi-translucent, I guess. I don't know if semi-opaque is a real term or if I'm making that up. So I'm going to go with semi-transparent because I'm pretty sure that one is real. I don't know. I'm not really great at English. For somebody who, in theory, should be able to speak good English, speak good English doesn't even sound right. Oh boy. Oh boy. I'll tell you. It is, as I have said on streams before, it is at times astonishing that I made it out of high school because I am certainly not the smartest person on the planet by any stretch of any imagination anywhere. So yeah, this was one of my early concepts, and yeah, I wasn't sure that the visual would work. I mean, to be honest, I wasn't really sure when I decided to do it this time either. I really didn't know, but I went ahead and, oh, you know what I just realized? I need to add a line in here because you should be able to see the edge of that finger. So let's see, is this the right thickness? It is, just not the right color. So we're going to go ahead and, oh, somebody is viewing. Hello, viewer. Whoever you are, viewer, welcome. You don't have to say anything. I'm just saying that because I happen to notice it said one viewer. So I'm saying hello to the one viewer, but you do not have any obligation, nor should you feel any to say anything. Okay, that looks correct to me. So that should be covered by this. Where is the rest of the hand? There we go. So let's move that up here. Is it 32? It's 22. Move that. Oh. Yeah, I forgot about the mask. Whatever. That's fine. It doesn't matter. It can stay like that. Really doesn't make a difference. I'm not short on layers yet, so I don't have to worry about that. But I do need to... Whoa! Wait, why did it do that? Oh, right, because... Yes, okay, I see why. It's no problem. I just have to be very careful and do that. See? Nothing to it. Nothing to it. Okay, back to the green layer. Let's go back to green. Let's keep moving on this. So let's jump our colors back to zombie green, because this is a zombified hand. I will fix the white color later. But let's get this going here. So I really wasn't sure. I didn't know if this was going to be a very visually interesting image. I think this was the second one I thought of. I think the first one, honestly, the whole reason this series came about with the Dead Media idea was because I was doing, what was I working on? I was doing some image, and I think it was something, I think I was doing like a gag image, which is what I mostly do, for the Digital Foundry media channel in their Discord, and I would post gag images there quite a bit. I haven't done it as much lately, not for any reason, nothing particular. It's just that a lot of the stuff they've been doing, a lot of the stuff they've been covering has been really interesting. So I've been more paying attention to it for information than mining it for jokes like I was for a while, which I not that they ever weren't informative, but I was more watching things, paying attention for funny bits to put into Photoshops than really concentrating on the information they were covering, which is not because they weren't doing good coverage. It was because I'm an idiot. But I really have been enjoying their technical analyses. Is that what you're supposed to say? I don't know. But I've been enjoying their technical work more, and so I'm less paying attention to joke stuff. But I should do some more because people enjoy it. They like that stuff. People enjoy funny photoshops and discords. It's really strange to me. I seem to be in a lot of discords and fans, like I'm more than one person, and a fan of many shows where I always expect there to be other people doing what I'm doing in terms of the photoshopping stuff. And there really isn't. And I have a hard time believing that's because there's something special about me. I guess it's just that am I a strange creative person because I have all these more technical interests? I really can't believe that. I don't believe that's really true. So I don't know, it's strange. Because I always feel like, okay, there should be other people posting gag images and I seem to be the only one doing it. Is it because everybody else doesn't want to be seen to be a buffoon like me? Maybe. I certainly am. I'm not going to pretend that most of my stuff is what I would really think is funny, but it's funny to me, but I don't know that it's actually funny for other people. I don't know. I don't know. There's lots of stuff where I sit there and I wonder about it. I was just on the most recent episode of the Synthwave chat show Beyond Synth. I was on there because the host, Andy Last, had posted a call out basically for end of the year people to come on and chat. And I'm always one of the first people to do that. And I'm always sort of astonished that other people don't do that stuff. And it's not like I think I've got some kind of great voice or I'm a particularly entertaining individual. I guess and I'm not really a social person either. It's such a weird thing. It's very, very bizarre. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I'm a social person if there's no actual physical personhood involved. You want to get me on a podcast, I'll sit there and I'll talk for an hour. You want to tell me to come to something and actually hang out for an hour, it's going to be a lot harder. I just am not built that way. Hi, cutie. That's my doggy coming in. Hello, my good girl. Little beauty. Yeah. My dog is really the only reason I would ever probably run a camera, so that you could see my dog, because she's sweet, huh? She's sweet. She's a good girl. Yes. There's nothing in that drawer you care about. That's electronics. There's a drawer near me that's open, and it has basically hard drives and cables in it, and she's looking into it as if there's going to be some kind of morsel of kibble in there. There's not, I promise you. There's no food for you in there. I don't think there's anything in there you would even enjoy chewing on, because she's never been she's not a dog that chews on cables or anything like that very much. So, yeah, I'm really liking this color for the zombie hand. I like the fact that it doesn't look realistic at all. That's actually very, very intentional. So, yeah, okay. All right, let me see here. Bear with me a minute. Something odd has happened here. Just stick with me for a second. I just need to flip screens for a minute because something really bizarre. Let me switch this. In the background, I'm hoping the sound isn't picking up. If it is, it's probably pretty minimal. But in the background, you may have heard a slight whining sound. And if you did, what that was, because it just stopped, and it seems like it stopped. Oh no, it's still going. Okay, it's just working in the background. That is a Blu-ray, an external Blu-ray drive. I just want to make sure it didn't have an error. Didn't. Ripping a archival copy of City Hunter, the 80s to, I guess, early 90s Japanese anime series, because I bought it on Blu-ray, the complete first season, which is 51 episodes, and I want to put it onto my Plex server, because I believe that you should be able to buy things and then put copies of them wherever you own something. Physical media is a very important thing, and actually today was a big physical media day, because not only did I get City Hunter coming in, but I also got 2 soundtracks from, I think it's Waxwork Records. One was the soundtrack to the Phil Tippett stop-motion film Mad God, which is absolutely spectacular for people who are stop-motion fans or just fans of really weird, bizarro films. So I got that soundtrack, which is stellar. It's a beautiful soundtrack. Beautiful soundtrack. So I got the physical copy of that. There is a digital version if you want it that way, but I wanted the CD, which I ripped those immediately and put those right into my iTunes Match library. And I also got the 3-disc soundtrack, which it's marketed. Whether this is true or not, I don't know necessarily, but it seems like it. The 3-disc complete, as marketed, soundtrack to the magnificent Aeon Flux animated series. The soundtrack includes the Liquid Television shorts music as well as the full series that was produced. I don't know what year that one came out, but I really like that series. I've always liked that series, and I think the music is stellar. It's just so weird and otherworldly and different. And so there was a not complete version of it that came out, I don't know how many years ago. I have that too, called I Spy Confidential. But as far as I'm aware, this is the first time that the entire soundtrack, the whole thing, has been issued. So those came in the mail as well today. So I have had a really good physical media day. Because physical media is important, as I've said before, or as I just said before, and I'm going to say it again. It's really important. If you value something, buy it on physical, because as we've been seeing recently with companies like Disney and others, if they decide they don't want you to see something, it just vanishes. Now, you can't always get everything on physical, but if you can, you really should. Because if it's something you enjoy, that's a good way to support it. It really is. Oh, I see there's a little bit of green left in there. So, yeah, today was a good physical media day. Yeah. Oh, 2 viewers. Hello, 2 viewers. See, I can't really tell. This thing, the thing has a clock there. I don't know if that means 60 minutes actually happening right now, or that somebody watched it for 60 minutes and bailed. I can't really tell. I don't know. Very difficult for me to figure out what's going on. But it says there's 2 viewers. If those are 2 viewers that are actually watching right now, live, hello, 2 viewers. If it's not, I'm talking to nobody. And that's fine too. It's not going to bother me. But yes, today was a good day. And it's funny because I just watched a... Is it? Well, thank you, Box78. Yes, hello, Box78, another viewer. I don't know. I'm doing this through OBS, so I don't know if it interprets stats. Oh, 16 minutes. You know what? You're right. Well, it's showing on OBS says 18 minutes. That's what I don't know. It doesn't matter. I don't care. I honestly don't pay attention to it, except I don't want to be rude and not say hello to people. That's really the only reason I even look at it. Honestly, I don't really ever expect to have more than a handful of people that are in this thing I gotta really go fine tuned on that one. That are actually going to show up for the live streams. That's okay. I don't care. I gotta get that better. I gotta really dial into that because I don't want it to. I mean, you won't see it at the size that it's going to be, but I can tell it's there. It's more if I just don't want people to sit there and not be acknowledged. I think if people take the time to actually show up for your stream, the least you can do is say hello to them. So I try to pay attention. Oh, I just see it. I just saw it. Well, so much for me thinking the reflector update was going to make it more stable. Hold on. Coming back. Just a minute. It should pop right back in a second. Sorry about that. There we go. Okay. Yeah, that's funny. Reflector just updated, and I had said at the beginning of the stream, I said, oh, maybe it's going to be more stable now. Nah, it's not more stable. Still garbaged out. That's okay. It works well enough as long as I notice. Gotta be careful here. There we go. Just give myself a little bit of wiggle room. So yes, in the background, like I said, I don't know if it's being picked up. Now it seems like it might be done. But I am ripping my City Hunter discs to be able to put them on my Plex server so I can watch them on there. City Hunter is an interesting series. It's an interesting series because in a lot of ways it is a very, very, very sexist show that I don't think could possibly be made the same way today. And there's no two ways about it. There's no covering it up. There's no saying it's anything else. It's what it is. It's highly objectifying towards women. Again, there's no sugarcoating that. That's what it is. And yet there is something about it where the series does appear to, and I don't know, I'm not saying this offsets it. Oh, you know what? I can close. I don't need to have Twitch open. Or sorry, Discord open. I can close Discord. That's just eating CPU for no reason. The series does, it seems like, try to balance that out a little bit by making the main character a buffoon. Again, I don't know if that's enough of an offset for some individuals, and I don't blame people if they, I think it does a pretty good job of making the main character. Sorry, I'm opening. Oh, thank you for the follow, Box 78. I appreciate it. I'm actually looking up hand muscles just to get an idea of hand muscle color, because I don't want to have it be completely accurate, but I want to see something with the hand muscles color. Because okay, yeah, it's like okay, I'm pretty close with this. So let me enhance that a bit. So I'm trying to make this somewhat unrealistic, not somewhat. I'm trying to make it hyper realistic, or not make it look literal. But yeah, City Hunter it's such a weird series. It really is. I don't know really quite how to describe it to somebody who's never seen it, because describing it makes it sound monstrous, but then when you watch it, it's so goofy. Which again, there are elements of it, and of course it's a product of its time, but there's stuff about it that I think is, you look at it and go, oh yeah, that's not aging very well. But then there's other aspects of it. I just love animation from that time period, Japanese animation. There was something different about it, pre-computer. And I'm not necessarily anti-CGI or CG in anime. I think it can actually be used very well. I think Ghost in the Shell, the standalone series, did it really well. There are other series that do it really well. So I'm not, you can't ever have computers in my anime, and that's like not that type of thing. But there is something, because it's not just the fact that it's hand-drawn. There's also a lot of style differences today than there used to be in older anime, and which is fine. Things evolve, things change. It's the way the world is. That's not me saying, oh, it's not as good today. Actually, the Netflix Pluto series is really good. Really good. And that's brand new. I mean, that's this year, last year, brand new. And that's here. Oops. Hold on a minute. Let me just clean that up. I didn't realize I got into the actual blood vessels, which are going to be a very, very bright red. So Pluto's great. So it's not that there is not good modern anime. There's not. But I do miss, and it's almost, I watched a video where somebody was talking about the same thing. It's almost the fact that it is not as crisp. There's a softness to it. There's a difference to it. And it's just what I grew up watching. So it's kind of like anything else. It's like people who talk about the fact, and this is true, that if you eat McDonald's fries today, they don't taste the same as they did before. They're healthier for you, without even a doubt. They're healthier. I mean, they're not healthy, but they are healthier. But there is something different because they change the stuff they make them in. So it is undeniable that they are different now. So there is a memory of eating McDonald's French fries for me that is different than the reality of today. Again, I'm not saying they should go back to less healthy options. They shouldn't. Health is important. I mean, that's one of the reasons I barely ever eat McDonald's fries anymore. McDonald's fries anymore. What a command of English I have. Amazing. McDonald's fries anymore. There we go. It's because I know they're not good for me, but they also do taste different. So there is a part of that. Let me punch that up, and let's do a darker, let's do the shadow areas for the hand. So let's do that. And that's on its own layer. Yes. Let's knock the brightness down on that. By there, and let's see. Do I want to mess with the saturation? Oh yeah, I kind of like that. Let's see. How about that? Let's see what that looks like. All right, so let me erase that. Let's go to that layer. Turn that off. Let's go to that layer, and let's see. So we've got that's dark. That's dark. It's dark. I'm just kind of putting the lines in. I know where my stuff is, but I just just doing that to make it easier so I can see where everything goes. Okay. All right. All these. Bang, 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 bang. Okay, that's fine. There we go. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, bang, 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 bang. Color, color. Color, color. Color. Okay. So let's turn the green back on. I've got my dark areas marked out. So now we can bring in the big brush, paintbrush. We can start kind of filling this in with some of the shadow areas. Move that there. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. I probably should be doing this with the brush. Was this hand drawn with pen and scan? No, this was done all on the tablet. I will show you. So initially, this sketch, as you can see, is in multiple parts based on a photo that I had taken. So I basically had I'd taken it with my camera, my phone. So I had the phone sitting there with the photo. And then I basically did the rough outlines of the hand. And this was all done in what I'll call digital pencil. Now, I have done what you're talking about as far as drawing things, scanning them, and then doing digital inking, but this one was entirely done this way. An example of what you're talking about. Oh, let's see. Okay, an example of what you're talking about is like this. This image, let me turn the colors off. This image initially was a physically drawn with pen. Oh, let me turn off the half toning too. Where's the other stuff? Where's that half toning coming from? No, it's not that. Where's that coming from? Oh, I was right on it. Sorry. Okay, so there. Yeah, that's correct. So this, I'm supposed to make this white on white. Okay. This was originally what you're looking at here. There was a physical drawing of this that I had done for something. So I scanned it. Now, of course, it was very, pixelated and fuzzy. So I went over it in ink and then digitally did the rest of it with the coloring and everything else. So that's more like what I think you're talking about. So this was originally physical, scanned, moved onto the tablet, and then digitally inked and colored. But what we're looking at, and that's also true for something like this boat, was, that's a... No, actually, I think that was digital too, now that I think about it. But this one, which is... Sorry, I'm running through things here. Here it is. This was entirely done on digital with literally this sketch pencil right here and my non-repro blue option for painting. But beforehand, got the cursor right over there. I did some digital art, never learned the tricks. Well, look, I'll be honest with you. I've never learned to layer properly either, because I'll tell you right now, the proper way to do layering is not to have numbers. The proper way is to have this all annotated so that I would know what these things are. Like this should say, for example, CD whole finger. So that, this is obvious because I can see it. But for example, this layer on my screen, I can't tell what that is. It's not by just looking at it. I labeled this whole group sketches. So honestly, there's not really a trick to anything. There really isn't, to be honest about it. I for a long time only did traditional media. So it was all pen and ink. I'm a crappy painter. So I've never really done painting. But then, the benefit, honestly, the biggest benefit of digital as far as art goes is the ability to undo mistakes. To be able to, for example, if I did this, oh wait, hold on, let me go to the right layer. If I do that, and I'm like, oh no, you do that with a painting, you can fix it. You can fix it. There's ways to fix mistakes. That was one of the things I remember one of my art teachers told me about. One of the best things you can figure out as an artist is how to be able to take a mistake and make it work. So in a painting, if you put the wrong color in the wrong spot, can you fix it? Sure you can. It's going to take you a while. On digital, all I have to do is take 2 fingers and go like that, and it goes away. That is by far the biggest benefit to digital art for me. The other thing is that I can work on a huge scale and zoom in and have things be pixel perfect where the edges are nice and clean. Because I like to do a lot of stuff that is going to be done, that's going to end up on a shirt or a mug or something like that. And for that, it's just easy to be in the medium that you're going to have to transfer the image from. You know, it does make it tougher if I ever wanted to sell a quote-unquote original of this piece. There are people who will not buy digital art. They just won't do it because they don't see the value in it. Now, I thought that way for a while myself, and then, you know, once I realized how much work there still is in digital art, you know, my stance on that has changed over the years. But a lot of people, they want to buy something physical. I've had people email me asking me if I made physical copies of certain digital works, and I say no, and that's the end of their interest. And that's fine. That's their right as, you know, consumers of art. They can, if they want, I understand the value of digital. I am surrounded right now, you can't see it, but I am surrounded by physical originals of art. Within 2 arm lengths of me are 2 framed original drawings. They're one of a kind. So I understand people who, that's what they want their original art to be. They want it to exist physically. But for me, number one, I'm not an artist who sells a lot of work. You know, I'm more of a failed artist than I am a successful one. That's just the truth. You know, I basically have one big thing that I've done. Well, technically 3, but for one company, but it's like one-time thing. And that's it. This is the downside of digital, stuff like this, where your thing, you know, craps out. So hold on, it's going to come back in a minute. I'll just wait here. But I mean, that's there's so many. The other thing that's just great about art in general, but is also true for digital, is there is no right or wrong way to do this stuff. But as far as what made it the easiest for me is if you want to repaint something, I would imagine that's tricky. I don't do digital painting. I don't paint. This is as close to me working in paint as me doing this color, because I'm not good with colors. To just being honest, I'm not. So for me, this was an easy transition to go from monochrome black and white pen and ink into digital. Not hard at all. Not hard at all. How that would be for somebody who wanted to be painting, I mean, there are digital painters, but I would guess, I don't know this, but I'm going to guess that it's a bit of a steeper learning curve for doing digital painting, but I know people who do it. So it's obviously something that you can do. I just don't know, you know, how tough or easy it is to move from traditional painting to, there are certainly programs and apps for it. There have been for quite a while. So it's obviously something people do. In fact, there was a guy. Oh, I used to watch his videos all the time. What was that guy's name? Man, he used to do presentations for Adobe a lot. I can't remember his name. I wish I could. I mean, this guy, as far as painting in Photoshop, was amazing. I don't remember his name now. I cannot believe I forgot his name. But obviously, you know, that guy, you know, when you would watch him do it, he made it seem easy, which, you know, of course, anybody who's been doing it this guy had been doing digital painting and Photoshop work for years and years and years. So, of course, somebody like that, it's going to seem very easy when he shows you how to do it. But he definitely was able to paint in a way that looked very similar to traditional painting, you know, in actual media painting. So I know it can be done. It can absolutely be done. You can do digital painting very, very well in a way that honestly is as good as painting traditionally, and to some people would be probably indistinguishable. In fact, to most people would probably be indistinguishable. You wouldn't know the difference. So, you know, I don't know if Procreate is necessarily, I mean, there's a lot of painting stuff in here. If you look, there is, I'm in the painting section. I'm just using the brush as kind of as a giant ink brush, but you see all this stuff in here. And there's all these different brushes that you can buy. Acrylic brushes I've got down here. So I would imagine for somebody who wanted to paint, you can definitely do it. But the biggest thing in terms of layering is, I will say this is something to be aware of. And this is pretty much the same as with a normal computer. Now, actually what I'm going to do is it's time to feed my dog. So I'm going to talk. I'm going to leave this static image on here, but I can talk while I'm doing things. You may hear a little background noise, so I apologize for that. But my dog is, yes, she's staring at me. So hopefully this keeps transmitting as I come in here. This is not normally something I do, but since I'm just talking for a minute, I can do it. The biggest thing I'll tell you as far as a trick is, and like I said, this is similar to, sorry about the background noise. You will hear me, that's me scooping my dog's food, so you are hearing stuff that normally isn't on the stream, but is to have the awareness of, and I'm going to be putting water on this food, so apologies. There's water. Is to make sure that if you're going to be working digitally, that you have hardware that is going to allow you to work as freely as possible. And what I mean when I say that is, one of the biggest benefits when I upgraded my iPad, I want to say 3 years ago now, it was probably, was that the newer version of the iPad had a significant upgrade in the RAM. I think they doubled or tripled, I don't remember what it was, just by the nature of it being a third generation or fourth generation iPad Pro. And I'm not kidding when, and I know I'd done streams at the time where I mentioned this, I noticed that the layer count that I could use doubled. Now that's an exceptional boost. So if you're going to be doing digital painting, depending on how large you're working, and this too matters, if you do small paintings, you're probably in better shape because you get more layers out of a smaller canvas than you do out of a larger one. Just makes sense because the bigger you go, the more horsepower and RAM and storage you're using. So if you're doing smaller paintings, then you probably don't need to worry as much. Like this canvas, I'll look at the size, but I think this is 9 by 12, 9 inches by 12 at 300, which is basically print size. You know, when I worked in traditional a lot, I was typically working at 18 by 24. That's a large canvas size. So the RAM was pretty important for that. I'm almost done here. I'm just waiting for my dog to, Maggie. I'm just trying to get her to notice that I've got her medication on my finger so she can lick it off. Hey, here. She's so engrossed with her food that she doesn't even notice me. With her favorite thing, peanut butter, right here. I'm right here. There you go. Thank you. People don't want to listen to me feeding you for 10 minutes. Okay, sorry about that. But that's the thing. So that is one thing is you know, because you're going to be, depending on what you're using, if it's a computer you're going to upgrade, then you can do the expansion yourself. But if it's going to be something like a tablet, okay, I do all the same things. Oh, okay. Yeah. So that is one thing. That is an important thing, is whatever app you're going to use, hopefully it has some kind of calculator, or you can find some people who will tell you, like, okay, if you're going to buy an iPad at the base level, which is what I started off with, you can do it. You can absolutely do it. You don't have to spend $2,000 on an iPad. You just have to know what the limitations are going to be, and they may not be a big deal for you. You might be fine with the amount of layers, because again, if you're working on, let's say, I don't know, let's say you're doing, because I know people who do small scale paintings. So if you're working at, let's say, 5 inches by 5 inches for whatever your stuff is, well, you're going to get a lot out of that. Because, here, I'll show you this. Oh, sorry. What I meant to do was, if I go here, and I go to the canvas size, right? Now, this canvas information, so this will tell you. So, okay, so this is 14 by 19, right? That's the size, that the equivalent at 300, you can see that. So for that means I have a maximum of 71 layers. If I cut that size in half, it'll exactly double, but you're going to get a lot more. So again, scale is going to be important. I didn't really find any limitations when I had the base model. I didn't notice any limitations as far as the app not working well or being slow or anything. Not that I noticed. So I don't think that's going to be a problem. I think it's going to be more of, as I said, will you have the amount of layers to accomplish what you want? because I work pretty big. So for me, the layer count was a significant thing. That was a big upgrade when I finally did upgrade my iPad. So that was absolutely worth it. But for some other people, maybe not. You know, it again depends on the amount of layers and the scale that you're working at. So it may not be something you care all that much about. And thank you for being understanding about my dog, because, you know, she will not be happy if she doesn't eat on time, and plus she has medication that we time with her food. So it is kind of good to make sure she eats at the right time. You know, I never really looked at, I don't remember actually. Okay, I see it. I'm just looking at my finger now to get the shading right. So that's the biggest thing, is to be aware that that is an important factor depending on what you want to do. Is that there are tangible benefits. Not benefits is the wrong way. It is worth considering how much you want to spend and what that will get you, because it may not be worth it. You know, again, if you work small scale, you probably don't need to buy a very large iPad. You're probably going to be able to get everything done pretty much at the base level, which is great because it's cheaper. So why not? You know, there's no point in paying for something if you're not really getting anything from it. Hi, Kimmy. Hi. More of a hobby. Yeah, well, that's the other thing too. It depends whether it's something that you really want to do. But it's not. But I will say this: more than it's ever been, you can go find YouTube channels that will talk about digital painting and how to get started. All that stuff exists. So there's lots of. It doesn't have to be an iPad. I'm saying iPad because that's what I've got. It's not like you can't do this on a computer. To a degree, you could probably do it on a phone. I've never tried doing any real artwork on a phone. That's basically because I'm old. You know, I'm past the point where I'm going to be able. I just, the idea of doing art on my phone is not for me. I need the iPad at the largest screen size is about as small as I can get. That's just me. I recognize that many people are younger than me and will not have any problem doing this stuff on a phone, and I'm sure do. But that's the nice part, is there is a world of creators out there now who have libraries of information. I mean, there's nothing that you can't find somebody to help you with one way or another. And even if it isn't a YouTube channel, you can go to forums, all this different stuff. There's all these different resources now that never existed when I was younger. There were no YouTube channels. There was nothing. If you didn't know how to do something, you didn't know how to do something. That was it. You had to hope that maybe you'd find somebody else in the real world that you actually knew, or that you interacted with through, you know, school or something. That's the only way you would get any help. Otherwise, you had to figure it out on your own. Now, I can't think of the last time that I came up with something and I didn't find an answer to how to do it from somebody in the form of either like a Reddit post, a forum, you know, post of some kind, or a video. I mean, it's really incredible how many resources there are for creators now, and ways for creators to help each other. It's as much as people, and I'm one of them, complain about a lot of how terrible people can be to each other a lot of times. On the other side of that is the fact that there are so many communities and groups of people who have created all these really great resources for people to just get help with whatever they're trying to do. You know, from, like you said, you're doing painting as a hobby all the way up to doing it as a profession. And in fact, I'm positive I don't know anybody myself, but I cannot imagine that there aren't people who started off. I know there are. I mean, I know I've read these stories about people who started off doing stuff based on a hobby, and they were following a YouTube video. Whoops, I missed a spot. And they were able to turn it into a profession. I've said this before, so this is a familiar story to anybody who's tuned into the streams before. But I mean, the only reason I got to do the magic cards I did is because I just happened to post my stuff on a free website. Well, not free. I mean, it comes with my Adobe subscription, but I would have posted it somewhere else that was free if I didn't already have that. And that's how somebody found me. You know, it can happen that quick. So the word hobby is an interesting one, because at this point, I don't know. Everything's a hobby till it's not. Everything is a hobby until somebody decides to pay you for it, and then it's a profession. And you become a professional. So just because it's a hobby now, start small, start with stuff you enjoy, see where it goes. You just don't know. You just really don't know where it's going to go. I'm going to finish. I'm just about done with the stream, I think, because I am going to get dinner started. My wife will be home soon, and I'm sure she'll be hungry, and I'm hungry. So I'm going to finish this out. How long have I been? Yeah, 45 minutes. That's what I figured. Okay. So, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff. If you're really thinking about it, and even if you're not really thinking about it, watch them anyway. A lot of these videos are just great, even if you're not going to do anything with it. I don't paint very much, and I watch a lot of painting videos because I'm really just really astonished by people who can paint well. And, you know, it's really wonderful to see people who can do something, because there are people I think who get hung up on the fact that they're watching somebody do something and they're like, oh, I wish I could do that. That's never really been my mindset on a lot of stuff. Some stuff it is, but not when it comes to creative stuff. I look at it more as I'm always just really thrilled to see people who can do things even if I can't do them. I love the idea that these people exist that can paint really well, because I can't. So to me, it's amazing to see people who are really good painters. It's just not my strength. I can paint a little bit. I can paint enough to do Bob Ross stuff, which is not nothing, but that's also the reason that Bob Ross was such a great person to follow and watch his videos, is because he made it possible for everybody to paint. That was the beauty of that stuff. So this is the stuff I can do. Weird zombie hands holding CDs. That's what I can do. All right, on that note, I think I'm going to bring the stream to a close for today. But this hand it's going where I want it to. So, yeah. And Bach, thank you for stopping by, and thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate it. My streams are short. I don't know if this is the first one you've come by. I don't do multi-hour streams. That's not... My eyes are garbage, and I just can't draw for that long. So I do these. I upload them to the YouTube channel, which if you go to YouTube and you look up Ozone Art Foundry, like it says on the top, you can watch my other streams. They're there. And I try to do these on Wednesdays. I generally do them every Wednesday around this time. I don't think I've ever actually explained this before, but since you're here, I figure I would. And yeah, so I appreciate it. And yeah, I'm go paint. Keep with it as a hobby. You never know. You never know. Things start as a hobby, and before you know it, there's something you're doing all the time. And then, like I said, at some point, somebody offers to pay you for it, and that's fantastic. So keep up with it. And YouTube has a lot of really good resources. And there are lots of free apps, too. You don't have to pay for apps either. That's the thing. There's lots of good free art apps that are around. So do not feel like you have to pay for anything, because you absolutely do not. All right, well, thank you for stopping by, whether you're watching live right now like Bach, or whether you're watching this after the fact later. Doesn't matter to me. I'm just happy you're stopping by at all. So go out there and be creative if you can. Hobby or professionally, doesn't matter. It just matters that you create. Creating's good for you. Creativity's good for you. Or go watch somebody else do it and just enjoy that. And you never know, you might watch somebody who you think's doing one thing that you can't do, and then you realize that's something I might be interested in, and you start doing a creative medium that you never even considered. It happens more often than you think. Anyway, we'll see you on the next stream. Again, thanks for stopping by, live or later. And until the next stream, take care.